is my pleasure, though, to say the word spring as we start off today's show today, because the first phases of flower planting are going on. And for a lot of people, that means celebration. The garden centers are rolling out perennials and annuals, and we can inspire you today with some ideas for flower combinations for your outdoor containers straight from the experts. Local flower grower Brian Lloyd from Olson's Greenhouse is joining me, and I just said before the show started, we're so excited to see you because, of course, it's you. But it's also spring.
It's springtime.
Color and flowers. We're glad to have you.
We're so excited for this time of year. We have so much color in the greenhouses. We just are itching to get it out in people's yards.
So speaking of color, I'll start with the color green. Are you giving us the green light then to plant?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yes?
Yes, it's the time to plant now. There's this misconception out there that you can't plant until after Mother's Day.
Yeah, you hear Mother's Day.
Yeah, people hear that all the time. I hear it in the garden centers, and it just makes me cringe because there's so much you're missing out on if you don't plant in April and even March. We've got some cool season varieties. We've got pansies and alyssum and African daisies and snapdragons. All those take the cold weather, and they do just great this time of year. So it really makes me feel bad when people miss out on all that color in their lives. Yeah.
When we say don't plant until Mother's Day.
Well, we're so all sick of winter, right?
Yes.
Yes, and the color is the way to bring in spring. So bring it in March.
So with that green light to get planting, what's the first project you recommend we tackle?
Containers by far. And the reason why is when we have bad weather like we've got today, and tonight it's going to be below 30 degrees probably. In a lot of places.
Now we're sad. Now you've offended us.
I mean, when that happens, if we're in a container, we can just bring it in the garage for the night and protect it, and then put it back out when the sun's shining again.
So we hear the term referring to, container planting. We hear container recipe.
Right.
Define what that is exactly.
So a recipe is just like in the kitchen, right? There are pre-made recipes, and they talk about what varieties and what colors to put together. When we're having Container Fest this Friday, that we'll talk about in just a minute, we have recipe cards there, and you can see what a finished container will look like. There's a photograph of it, and you can see how it'll be all full grown and know exactly what components. We call it paint by color. You know exactly what flowers.
That's what I need. I need a foolproof plan because guessing is not my friend in this case. In this case,
we make it easy with a recipe card, or you can just wing it. You can put whatever you want in.
I can't. I can't. I need you. Let's dive into some recipes. You brought some of your favorites to the studio today. Where do you want to start?
Yeah, so we've got perennials. I love container gardening with perennials because it gives you twice the bang for your buck, Brooke. There's you can plant and enjoy the color, and most perennials are kind of short bloomed. They only last, their blooms only last for 3 or 4 weeks a lot of the time. So we can enjoy them in a container for those 3 to 4 weeks. And then once they're done, we can rip them out by the root ball and plant them in the yard and enjoy them from year after year after year because they're perennials, they come back.
With these recipes, before we get into some specifics, is there a formula you follow or a formula you recommend that all of these recipes sort of pattern after?
Yeah, it's a really basic formula, and we've talked about it before. It's the thriller.
Wait, let me say it. Can I say it?
Go for it. What's the next one?
Spiller, filler.
You got it?
Oh gosh, I love when I get
so easy. Thrillers are just tall things that are focal point, that bring attention. They can be cordyline dracaena grass, or they can be a flower that's tall. We actually have kind of two thrillers here with the leopard's bane and the wallflower.
It's like a shot of happy just looking at that
we
yellow.
can put those, usually a lot of times we'll put them in the center of a container, but I'm going to put them on the back side of this container. So these are both perennials that'll come back and bloom early spring.
Okay.
And then we have salvia. Salvia blooms in May, usually. This is a rose color, a new variety that I just love. It gets huge in the yard.
It's gorgeous.
We're going to enjoy it in a container for a little bit.
It's a unique tone of purple, too. There's almost like a pink hue to it.
Exactly. It's a newer color that just came out last year, believe it or not. So
say it again.
It's just a salvia, sage.
Salvia sage. Okay.
Yeah, sage is the common name. And then pincushion flower, scabiosa.
Okay.
Okay, these are all fillers that I'm filling in now.
I think scabiosa is such an unfortunate name, isn't it? It's like the stepsister of all the flower names.
I've got a little foliage for a filler. This is a heuchera, coral bells. The flower is known for coral bells, but we usually use it for the foliage.
You are packing these in here. What's a good rule of thumb for quantity?
You can do 2 ways. You can either pack it in and enjoy color right off the bat, and don't be worried about it getting overgrown because these are perennials. In 3 weeks, we're putting them in the yard. Or you can loosely pack it then you've got to wait a couple of weeks for it to fill in. So whatever your preference is, whatever you're going for.
I'll never say no to instant gratification, so I like this style. Pack them in.
This is a Shasta daisy. This is one of the most popular perennials that we sell, but this is a mini version, a miniature version with little tiny blooms. It stays short. It's called Darling Daisy.
And as Meg Ryan said in You've Got Mail, the happiest flower in existence of mankind.
Now, I'm not taking these out of the pots just because I don't want to get the studio dirty, but normally, obviously, we pull them out of the pots. We've got our container half full of soil.
You're maintaining your credibility by saying that. Oh, by the way, take them out of the pots.
So,
that's cool.
And then this is English daisies, or Bellis. I kind of like the botanical name on that one, Bellis.
And what are you looking at as far as color arrangement?
So I'm just trying to contrast the colors. I don't want two shades or two similar colors right next to each other, so I wouldn't put the blue right next to the pink.
Okay.
I want the yellow in there to make that contrast transition between the two. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here. So this is creeping phlox. This is just blooming in the yards right now. If you see that bright pink color in a rock garden, that's probably creeping phlox.
Look how pretty this is.
And then the last one of my favorite flowers. A lot of women love this too because of a conference talk that was given recently, but this is
Forget-me-not.
There you go.
Yes, yes, I love that talk as well, and I love the flower equally. So we see this in planted form over here, and it does follow that formula, thriller, spiller, filler. You've got the color variants going on. Can you talk us through some of the containers down front, what you did down there too?
Yeah, so container gardening doesn't have to be in a traditional round pot, Brooke. It can be in almost anything you can dream of, and I've seen a lot of weird stuff out there. But this is kind of cool. I just picked this up at Hobby Lobby. This is just an old tin vintage wash basin.
That's awesome.
And we filled it with soil. We drilled a drain hole in the bottom. We don't want extra water in there.
Right.
So I actually drilled a few drain holes and filled it with geranium baskets. I actually bought the hanging baskets, clipped the hanger off, and put them in with soil. And
because there the thought's been done for you, right? The planning's been done for you. So can essentially anything become a container with the right water system to it?
Exactly. I've got a dresser over here.
Oh boy.
And this is how we can do it. We can take the drawers and line them with plastic. We have plastic
amazing.
In the bottom of that, holding the dirt in. And then we pull them partially out and kind of make a unique pattern, or we can just leave them in the container. So this is a hanging basket.
Right.
I can clip the, I can pull the hangers off, or
just clip them right off. I would never even think to do that. Like, it's a hanging basket, it has to hang. I guess not.
And throw that out, and now it's a color bowl.
Now it's
now it's a drawer.
A color bowl.
So I'll just pop it in the drawer, and then that's the way to hold the container and keep the drawer from kind of warping too much.
Right.
And then I can put the drawer back in, and I'm good to go.
This is very cool. This is very cool.
So a lot of different ways to do it. You could leave some drawers out. You can put some back in. All different things can become containers. Great
inspiration. And as if that was not great enough, you are taking it a step further and helping us this weekend. You mentioned the event going on.
Right. It's called Container Fest. It's at all Home Depots in Utah. And we're there to help you. We've got experts from the greenhouse. The soil is free that day.
Nice.
It's this Saturday.
Okay.
From 9 to 2, April 21st. You can even put together, I think this is a great idea for Container Fest. Dads, listen up if you're out there. This is less than $10 in flowers. You can get it planted for you with free soil this Saturday at Container Fest.
Best Mother's Day
This is all my wife's favorite flowers, but imagine Mother's Day is 3 weeks away almost, or a little bit more, May 13th, okay? Plant this now, this Saturday, and then let the kids kind of raise it over the next 3 weeks. Let them water it, let them fertilize it.
Nice.
Give it to mom or grandma.
Nice.
And what better gift, right?
Thank you for women and mothers everywhere. Brian Lloyd, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.